able to look at the comments because I think it's going to take the internet away.
Don't worry.
All right, and it looks like we are live. All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us on today's Power Talk. We are so excited because we are going to share a bit more about multidimensionality. As most of you guys know, we do have Multidimensional Transformation Symposium coming up next week, Friday, 23rd of June. It's going to be amazing. So we just thought we're going to pop on and share a bit more about our multidimensionality and to build some context before the symposium. I'm super excited. How are you doing today, Reina?
I am very well, thank you. The energies are so incredible, and I'm just so excited for our upcoming symposium, as we have been working so intense with our speakers as well. It's going to be absolutely epic. That is one thing for sure. So if you haven't signed up for it yet, I will just put a link on the comment box on this video, and then it's going to go under description as well. The symposium is open for all, and if you are feeling guided to see how multidimensionality is related to our overall lasting transformation in this journey of life, we welcome you to come and join us.
Amazing, amazing. All right, and for those who signed up, congratulations, your seats are reserved. So if you haven't gotten your ticket yet, get it now. So Reina, I got a question for you. Just off the bat, what does what does it mean to be a multidimensional being?
That is a lovely question. I feel like I am scratching the surface of what multidimensional being is on a mental plane. And for me, how I understand it, it's we are such complex beings. So, for example, your body could be in a shape, in whatever shape it is, right? Your mental state and your emotional being as well, they can be in a different states, and same with spirituality as well. So multidimensionality for me means to integrate all of these four main planes of consciousness. So heart is coherent with the mind, with the body, and we are moving into a lasting transformation, change into the best version of ourselves, and we are integral with our words throughout all these four planes. But I'm curious to find out, what do you think, or what came through for you, as you mentioned earlier before we go live. So if you would like to read it now or read it later, please do.
Yeah, I'll read that a bit later. But just to answer the question about what multidimensionality is for me, it is a continuous expansion outward, right? Because we are forever expanding. Expansion is our natural state of being, right? If we're not expanding, we're contracting. And if you're contracting, it means we're going deeper, like within our space, in our little bubble, and we're not experiencing life the fullest, the way that it's meant to be experienced. And multidimensionality overall means that there's different layers and different things that really build up and make up this existence, this reality that we are experiencing. And it transcends far and wide beyond even space that we can fathom. There, and once we think we've reached the end, you find another layer, and then once you complete that layer, you find another layer. There's no limits to how many layers of dimension there actually is, because nobody ever came back to where we are now to say, okay, this and this is what there is out there, right? Because once you're there, you don't want to come back here, because that means you have to contract. So yeah, that's definitely something now I view multidimensionality.
Brilliant. I absolutely love your explanation and your what came through. Sam is saying, hey, hello, Sam. Your seat is reserved. You're looking forward to a symposium. Yes, we are so grateful you are joining us as well. Okay. So how can we, I have a question for you now, right?
Yeah.
How can we sense, the things that we don't see? So say, for example, the spiritual body or the astral body, how can we bring more of that sense or that higher self that lives in those planes? How can we anchor that in our emotional, our mental, our emotional, and into our physical existence? Is that possible?
Yes, it's truly possible, because the non-physical is the basis which hosts our physical reality, right? So if we want to tap into our higher faculties, which is in the non-physical, means that we need to shut down all physical senses, right? So if you're going to talk the whole time, or if you're going to listen the whole time, or if you're going to look around, you're missing the point, because you're not tapping into those streams. But if you are tapped into those streams and you connect it into your physical body, it enhances not only your physical senses. You notice that you got more senses than just your 5 senses, because you got higher senses and you got lower senses. So to tap into that, you need to basically, there's no other way than through meditation, because you have to do something in order to get out of your mind and out of your physical existence and your experience that you're having, in order to tap into the non-physical. And so once you're in meditation, our shamans used to do it, because they or how they do it, not used to do it, they visualize something called a Kocha, which is like a brilliant white ball just on top of your head. And they do a form of meditation, obviously with their eyes closed, to tap into that and to bring that energy down. They put their whole environment that they're around there within this Kocha. And then once they've done that, they bring it down they use the motion of their hands in just to signal the body and the subconscious to anchor it in. And then once they're done, they wrap it all up and they put it back, because now you already connected it and you want to be at a higher plane so that you can still experience that. And that's how they mainly did. They do their spiritual ceremonies and anything like that. They do through that as a vehicle in order to activate their higher senses and a higher plane of a different dimension, basically, which they bring in. I don't know if that answered your question.
Yes, yeah, definitely. It is really interesting for me to explore that area, just because when the eyes don't see, right? It's always like an area that sparks curiosity and feeling that energy. Okay, so I wanted to ask you about healing, and there are different healing modalities out there, and also self-healing. I wanted to touch more on the self-healing, basically. So how can we identify an area of our life, if you want, that we need it to become more healthy? So in these terms of, healing, for example, right? Let's say relationships. So relationship with self, and as we know, we are the people around us, and every single person that we communicate with is a mirror of ourself, and ultimately an aspect of ourself that reflects how we within us treat ourselves, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So how can we utilize healing on subatomic level when it comes to an area of our lives that needs to become healthier?
All right, I love the question. So we got something called an innate body, right? It's an intelligent body that exists. It's like a basically like a cloak around our whole body. But it's not just, it's definitely multidimensional, because it's not just around our physical body, but it wraps around every single cell within our body. It's a part of us that knows that we have cancer before we even get symptoms, right? Because there must be some sort of intelligence within our body itself. Now, when it comes to relationships in that sense, it's all because it's a reflection of ourselves. It means that somewhere in our body, in our subconscious, in our past experiences, or maybe even just a fear of future experiences, which blocks that creates a blockage for that relationship to thrive, right? Or that's preventing us from showing up 100% and be committed to the relationship that we are building, because we're forever building a relationship. If we see, okay, this relationship is like 50% destroyed, we still got 50% to fix, right? So that we can always have that 100% relationship status with any person that we have. Because if we don't have that 100% relationship, then the relationship will be rocky and will go up and down. So in order to heal, right, the intention is I feel is the big key player in this sense, and working with your innate and your subconscious to reveal what the blockages are and what event, the first cause event that happened that caused you to go off course. Because there's always that one speed bump that you went over that maybe burst a tire and you went off the road, or you changed direction a bit. And then longer along the way, instead of going a straight line, you went completely the opposite direction, right? Or maybe you went in circles, you never know. So in order to heal that, just ask and build a relationship with your innate body and with your cellular structure and with your subconscious, because that's also a relationship. If that relationship isn't 100%, and for majority, and I'm also guilty of this, it's not 100%, because it wasn't taught to us at school or when we were younger. So if the children of today that learned about, okay, there's something called an innate body, right, which is another aspect of ourselves, which is smarter than us because it knows what's going on in our physical body before we even know it, right? If we can build that relationship, any relationship that we want to build in the future, we can send our innate forward to create a space for to build a thriving relationship with anybody that we meet. And the same comes with the Vitakotcha, right? If you create a bubble of space, you don't even have to use your hands. You can just visualize it and see how it comes down into your whole body and then expand into the room where you are and everybody that's there, and build a coherence even before you go into talking to somebody new for the first time. So yeah, definitely build a relationship with the innate body.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. So we were going, of course, a little bit there due to my curiosity.
It's all multidimensional.
But that's it. Absolutely. So let's touch on this. So how is it related to our multidimensional beings? And obviously, when we set intention for these weekly lives, we always come up with, pure intention of what needs to be heard, and it is intuitively guided. So I think that probably needed to be heard by someone who is watching us either now or on replay, It's like a ripple effect. How can we bring multidimensionality when it comes to becoming and being in the now moment the best version of ourselves? And lately I'm really passionate about looking after my body and looking after my nutrition and just my basic needs. And I'm guilty of, I admit, I haven't been showing up as the best version of myself, but there it is way to go. And as we say in life, it's the the flow of life where you expand and then you contract, and how can we, touching upon this subject from a few weeks ago, live in that balance and being, self-disciplined and self-regulated, and how can we bring the multidimensionality to that experience that we are experiencing in our journey?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. This morning was actually a great example for me about, because of multidimensional, the multidimensional symposium coming up. I've been more focusing my intention on experiencing multidimensionality myself in order to better convey it to the people watching. So this morning, my intention was to wake up early and then get the day going. And I'll read something later that came through last night about multidimensionality, and it actually touches upon this as well. Because you mentioned about living our best life in the now moment, because that's the only moment that's real. So if you take a look at an hourglass, right, you got the top part that's filled, and then you got the bottom part. The top part is the future, bottom is the past, and that little section in the middle, that's the now moment, with just one grain of sand going in there at a moment. But it all depends how you start your day, because that is the foundation for your whole experience. So let's say, for instance, worst case scenario, you having the best sleep and the next minute you hear half of your house crumbles down, right? And you jump up and you're in a state where like destruction. And you notice, okay, it wasn't your house, but it was the house next to yours, and it's not even yours, right? But it was close enough that you thought it was yours when you woke up your eyes. The rest of the day, your subconscious will play out destructive things. You'll get messages or events, even if you go to town, where something will go down because you're expecting that, because it was the first foundational layer that was laid when you opened your eyes. But then let's look at the best case scenario, to living our best life now. Okay, so if you wake up in the morning and before you went to bed last night, you prepared your best day, because it doesn't just happen. You have to know what you're going to do. So most of the high performers, right, they already set up the clothes before they go to bed, what they're going to wear the next day. They have a glass of water ready for when they wake up, and a glass of water for during the night. And everything is planned out. So they know when they wake up in the morning, they don't have to stress about the little things. They just need to focus on the state that they put themselves in from the first waking moment. So if you have a habit of really powering yourself up, right? Like Tony Robbins, you got the priming exercise. That's an excellent way to start your day, because it primes you with gratitude and energy. You got some breath work going in there. And once you're in that state, you lay the foundation for the rest of your day to unfold. And if you got certain parts of your life already set up in a way that once you're in that state and you move to the next, to amplify what you already created on your foundation, then you're having expansion. But if you're going to have a morning routine which is excellent, but everything else is destructive, then it just cancels out. But in order to live then a balanced life, to answer your question, is finding what works for you and what doesn't. If your morning routine is amazing, make sure that your ending of the day is amazing as well, so that you have a smooth, constant wave of up and down, because there are events happening which we don't have control over, which will try to diminish our emotion for the day. But if we can set the foundation that we are unshakable, and that we are in a state of neutrality, of not of in reaction, but rather a state of, okay, this is happening, what can I control? And once you ask that question, you literally put the power back into your hands to living your best life, because you're controlling what you can control and what you can't control. And how this links to multidimensionality is layers. Everything is layers in life. It's not one straight line, because you've got ups and downs. And if you go up, you go higher in a dimension. If you go down, you go to lower dimension. But if you can catch yourself on the waves, you can create it for yourself.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. That was amazing. I totally agree with all of the things that you said. And, morning routine is so important. We have been covering this aspects of it in our talks, which is really great. Okay. So we will be touching on, so we have incredible guests next Friday that are coming live and pre-recorded interviews as well. We have people who are going to link how the physical is related to the emotional, mental, spiritual, and astral planes. This is one dear friend, beautiful soul, Von Lee, who is a martial artist. And I'm really looking forward to his talk. We then have Amber, and who will be talking about emotional plane, and Kelsey as well, who's touching on emotional, and they're interlinked, all the planes. So we kind of tried to focus on one main, and then how is that interlinked? That's this multidimensional, right? We have incredible speakers on the mental plane, Anna Maria and Costas. Anna Maria will be talking about that mindset, and Costas will be touching on Wim Hof method and breath work. So it is very, very exciting how to bring that monkey mind back to, neutral, and from there, coming back to center. And then on spiritual plane, we have Tracy and Olivia, which is another two amazing, beautiful souls who are going to lead us through healing and how spiritual, is interlinked to all the rest. And me and you will be covering a new method that we have been working on as well, which is like a bonus for all our viewers, how to introduce yourself for the first time. So you show the impact that you are making into the world, and you come into the best light, confident enough as well. So I'm looking forward to this. It's absolutely incredible. I just cannot, express my gratitude, how grateful I am that we have been working on this, and we are bringing all these people together, and for our viewers as well. And what I wanted to mention as well is that all their words, our speakers, our words, because we set intention prior to that, and it's like a conscious way of living your life, are full of frequencies that are going to activate within your multidimensional beings specific aspects of self. It could be planting seeds into your mindset. It could be activating healing within your spiritual body, or working on your emotions and showing you a different way of emotionally being and living there, or even a small kick for taking control of your physical as well. So share this event with your friends, with your families, so we can bring a lot of people in, and we can go through that transformation together, because nothing is going to be the same after.
Definitely. And we're super excited. We've got amazing speakers, and they're also knowledgeable, super excited. If you haven't seen the videos that's on our channel, go and take a look at it to give you a quick sneak peek and meet the speakers. Is going to be absolutely phenomenal and life-changing. And I just want to touch upon the field of infinite intelligence, right? Because at the end of the day, multidimensionality taps into that aspect as well. Now, something that I've been doing for a while is asking questions that you have absolutely no idea what the answer may be, and allowing the space for that answer to unfold through written words, because I'm a writer. I love writing. So journaling for me is a no-brainer, because I know the impact that it has. So for this video, I asked a simple question and I got a 3-page response. All right. So I'd like to read it to you guys. So if I'm not looking at the camera, I'm reading. So the question that I asked is the following. What does being multidimensional mean and how can we experience it? Then the answer is as follows. Being multidimensional means that there are different layers to our existence, each layer revealing more than what you thought was there. There are as many dimensions contributing in your life as to how many you allow. You cannot jump from 0 to 100 without going through the other 98. Our multidimensionality exists within the smallest of cells within our body, to the strands of your hair, to the layers of your heart. To begin the process of exploring the multidimensionality of our reality, there are some truths that we need to acknowledge and to take to heart. The first being the law of one. There's one unified field that connects every corner of space and everything contained in it. Once we realize that we are not a part of this unified field, then we can move to number 2. We are not linear. The world distracts us with linearity because it's one way or the other. Multidimensionality is the opposite of linear. Each dimension is like a string of a harp, changes in range as you progress, and some works and feels and sounds better when played together. When dimensions are played together, the symphony creates a universe of its own. When we experience an event in our incarnated life, there are certain keys being played in the unified field that causes the event, and our role was to experience and cognize the effect that was meant to be experienced. Since you are a key player and truly are the co-creator within the unified field of creation, you have the honors to consciously choose how you are going to react. The moment you arise after you had your rest, the stream of life force confronts you, and within the first moments, you decide what you want to experience during the day. Every cell within your being has layers within layers to support life, your life. Every one of us has no clue as to how our body is physically constantly renewing itself. There are multidimensional entanglement within the unified field that contribute to our well-being if we choose to allow it. The atmosphere is multidimensional. Water is multidimensional. Everything is multidimensional. We are forever expanding within our own multidimensionality and into the multidimensionality of the unified field itself. There is more here. It's just up to you and me to allow itself to show it to us what we needed to hear, see, and feel. Play and explore with curiosity like you always did before the seriousness of mediocre things distracted us. So that is what came through for one question.
That is absolutely amazing. It spoke on a deeper level, I think, especially with that guidance that you had, that the law of one and then the non-linear. I think it is very important to remember those things, especially if we are experiencing challenges in our lives, that remembrance of who we truly are. But yeah, this is absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for sharing this with us.
It's a pleasure.
Okay, so any final words from you, Rowan, to our viewers?
Yeah, I just want to thank every single one of you who always shows up to watch this live. We truly appreciate you and your whole being. And yeah, we send major blessings to you and also to every single one watching this on replay, whether it be this year, next year, or whenever. We truly appreciate you and thank you for always showing up, and thank you for your presence on this planet, because you are doing more than what you think you are doing at the moment. You just being here is enough, but whatever you do after that is a bonus.
Amazing. Thank you so, so much. I really appreciate you. Thank you for this live today. Thank you to all our viewers for being here. We really appreciate you. If you have any questions that you want us to cover, please, please, please reach out. Our email address is on the About field on YouTube. We are curious as you are, and we are all on this journey of transformation, of change, of living life to the fullest, of enjoying ourselves and showing up as the best version of ourselves, as the beings that we are meant to be. So the potential is limitless. And I'll let this sink in. And then we will see you soon. Thank you again. Thank you, Rowan.
Definitely. Thank you, everybody. Until we see each other again, live long and prosper. Keep your eyes on the horizon.